Alright, welcome back everyone. Welcome to another video of How to Lucian Mid, where we are going to help teach you guys how to play this champion and gain some elo. Quick brief note, these videos are for people under Diamond elo. I do not feel that I am fit to teach anywhere above Platinum elo. So this is for Plat and under. Alright, I hope that's completely okay, and I hope that you guys will get some value out of this video. If you feel any value at some point, please feel free to hit the like button, and feel free to subscribe as I can make this content about most champions that can actually fit into mid lane. Alrighty, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this game where we have Faker on Lucian versus the Sylas. These are his runes right here. And we should be good to go with these being the runes right here. For the jungle matchup, it's going to be the Kayn and our Lilia. Overall, this jungle matchup seems completely fine. Kayn could come early, Lilia could come whenever. None of this raises any red flags in terms of early game champions like a Shaco would, or something along the lines that would cheese you early like that. Lee Sin. A lot of champions like this could potentially be much more scary than just the Kayn, who should be jungling fairly normally. Alrighty, let's go ahead and continue on to this. So, for this matchup, overall, let's go ahead and give some brief notes. Let me go ahead and actually pause this real quick for us so I can give us some brief notes. So we have Sylas versus Lucian. Sylas overall is melee. So Sylas can't really do a ton to us in terms of this because we are ranged, and ranged characters generally can dictate the lane early on, while Sylas is going to be looking for an all-in. All-ins are scary from our Sylas over here, while Lucian wants to poke and prod and do whatever he can to basically take the Sylas down and make the trades fairly easy for him to win. Additionally, we are AD, which means prolonged trades are good for us. What do I mean by that? I mean, when we do prolonged trades, as in we try to extend trades for a long time, but we do not try to go all in unless we know we can win. We essentially will do more because our auto attacks do more. So because our autos do more than Sylas's, we can actually keep autoing him, and it's as if we have extra spells because we just do substantially more damage. Not to mention we have our passive and everything else that makes Lucian a very oppressive mid laner. So general game plan for how this matchup's going to go, we're going to likely shove early. Additionally, with shove early, we are likely going to poke under his turret, under turret. And then outside of that, we will make sure we do not miss CS, and we will make sure to keep safe from ganks. And overall, over time, we are going to go ahead and poke so much that we will essentially force Sylas out of lane, and we will get an XP or a gold lead. And by having an XP or a gold lead, we will effectively be winning lane. In this lower elo, we will be only able to get this most likely, but depending on jungle or interaction, we might get more. The higher up you go in elo, the harder it will be to solo kill your opponents. But of course, in low elo, a matchup like this would go something along the lines of all the first few points, but instead of just the goal of XP or gold, we could also look for kills because they are much more likely to mess up, and our gold and XP lead will be much bigger. So with that being said, these are the keyest, or these are the biggest key highlights between these few ELOs. This person is likely to make less mistakes than someone in our gold ELO or someone in silver, bronze, whatever ELO you guys may be in. So, essentially, by dominating lane, you can go ahead and become a very good Lucian and really get to climbing much faster. Alright. For the most part, that is everything I need to highlight. There are, of course, more things you could highlight, but let's go ahead and get into the actual laning phase with Lucian versus Sylas. So let's go ahead and skip forward some. So right here, we're going to see Lucian auto this minion. By autoing this minion, we can actually see that this wave is now going to shove into the Sylas, so we already have a pushing advantage. He is also free to take E or Q. I do not know which he has taken. In fact, he has not taken one. But because he could take E or Q, he can either start E to dodge to dodge the Sylas's throw at him, or he could just start Q to shoot through the minions and try to hit the Sylas and get a bigger shove going. I believe either option is completely fine, and you can do this according to how you feel. And I assume this is actually why Faker has not even started anything here, because he is waiting to see which he will start to actually try to harass the Sylas. Oddly enough, Sylas hasn't come to lane, I was about to say, but he's probably hiding behind one of these two coves here to just not even mess with the Lucian, because early on Lucian will body the Sylas. Now, Lucian has decided to start Q here because he has such a big wave going. Now the Sylas can't really fight even, and he can look for the harass here. This also gets the wave going a little faster, and by going a little faster, we potentially can get the bounce back, forcing the Sylas to come out, and we will lock the lane around here with the minions, not allowing more than 4 to live. So Sylas has to play the lane up here while we play the lane back here, and we can poke and run him down the lane until he is no more or forced back. This is likely the plan from Faker. I do not know what exactly he's doing. So he makes sure to get his harass in. That's really good. And we are getting a shove in now. Obviously, we're comfortable with this. And we're going to lock the lane right in front of this turret. A very key note here from him locking the lane into turret here. Now all the minions are going to stack up here. These minions will come to like here and here most likely. And he'll have a few more minions back here. And because we do this, we actually get 9 creeps to start pushing against the 6 creeps. And 9 minus 6, obviously there's a free creep advantage for Faker, which means we'll shove in. But on top of doing this, we will get a bigger wave under this turret to have more time to harass him, have more time to go ward, and whatever else we may want to do as the Lucian to feel safe or to get an advantage. Alright, let's go ahead and continue now. So we're going to slowly start pushing this in. Sylas will try to get what he can. Faker, of course, is not giving up any auto attack or any creeps without getting some sort of damage back in. He gets this in. He gets another hit in. As you can see, something very important to note there, if we can show it. He's going to go ahead and get the Q through this minion and shove it in, killing it off entirely. This color might be easier for you guys to see. But because he gets the shove in, he actually gets to chunk him for like half, or not half his health, a good little portion of his health. He's going to get this creep basically killed, next to killed, because he could just shoot it in. And we'll have 3 creeps time to auto him under the turrets. Additionally, if we take enough time, we will get these creeps to stack up against these creeps, leaving the lane around here, which will cause the lane to shove back to here if he so chooses. So lots of things that can actually benefit Faker here. Alright, let's go ahead and continue now. As you can see, just as I said, he does this. I didn't actually see how the outcome was finishing, but because the creeps are stacking here, the next wave of creeps will reinforce this wave faster. Oh, very important here, actually. I'm so sorry. So by doing this, he's also caused all of this to happen, getting the free harass onto him, which is the other objective we were looking for. And he even gets the pierce through this creep onto him to take even more of his life, causing the Sylas to be essentially forced out of lane already, and this lane is pseudo over if Faker does not mess up whatsoever, and if there was no jungler interaction. And let's be honest, in many of your games, you basically might as well not have a jungler. So he's going to go ahead and start shoving in because the Sylas has been so messed up. This is high enough ELO for the the Kayn to help. Very important note here now. Faker's going to go ahead and chunk him down a little further. This is probably too much. But because he's going to chunk him down so much, he is effectively harassing the jungle and the mid laner. So if the jungler wants to come back to mid lane, he can actually potentially 1v2 them, or he can get out much easier, or he can get a trade kill, which is very important. Additionally, his Lilia is free to potentially help him. If the Lilia helps him, it will be a very easy 2v2, which is more likely to happen in higher elo. Anyways, we could continue now. As you can see, he gets the harass. I was a little overzealous on my estimation, but we can see what the point is. So now the Silent or the Kayn is likely to go ahead and get more of his health back. He'll probably come back around 50% at some point, or maybe not. Who knows? Faker's going to go ahead and keep harassing and looking for harass and CSing here. No biggie. He's going to go ahead and fight over the creep, I bet. Yep, he pierces through. He looks for the autos. He doesn't get them. But constantly, he is not giving up a single creep here. He will always look for an auto. He is as oppressive as possible while not letting the Sylas come back into him to get a full all-in in. Of course, right now, the Sylas is not capable of all-inning him because Faker got the massive lead early. He messes up here. If he just goes this way, he could probably just mess up the Sylas and take even more of his HP. So a small mess up from Faker. But we're going to go ahead and get another wave in at some point here very shortly. And as soon as the wave is in, we can start harassing this guy again under the turret or whatever else. This W is just to get the passive in and to release him to go this way. And now Faker is going to go ahead and look for a back, of course, because by backing while like this, if the Sylas chooses to push the wave, it'll be stuck here. If he does not choose to push the wave, then he goes even, and Faker would just come back with a free item advantage, and this would still passively push. So no matter what, there's benefit. And the Sylas is back, or not the Sylas, the Kayn is back after a while, but yeah, all the harass early mattered because of how this happened. And so this game is now essentially over, and Faker is in a commanding position. From this point on, he would do quite normal Lucian things and just start rinse repeating exactly what we saw in the lane and continue to deny these creeps. And that is essentially everything you need for the early game as Lucian. There are, of course, key highlights, or not highlights, but key distinctions here, but we do not have time to go over all the distinctions in one YouTube video. So, main takeaways from this: always harass. Not like you can always, but always when safely harass. Never give up CS for free. Sorry, that was really bad. Yeah, never give CS for free. CS plus harass. We should never give CS for free. As you saw, Faker throughout the lane would always space very close to the creeps, get his Qs through, and always harass the enemy whenever he would come up for this because he is melee. This is, of course, much more difficult versus ranged, but you have to remember that we will win prolonged trades. Additionally, he could E to dodge skill shots and many other things, which is a distinction here. Outside of this, another distinction that we can, or not distinction, outside of this, free, always think about your lane, always think about the lane, always think about lane state. By always think about lane state, then we will basically be able to get the wave in a favorable position where we could either shove this in and let it come back to us, or we could keep harassing under this turret, not allowing him to get anything for free, We could lock the lane back here. We could do a whole assortment of things to just constantly deny the Sylas and essentially put him out of this game. And our Kayn, or his Kayn rather, cannot even help him if we lock the lane up here. This is a very favorable thing that I like to do because then I can run the guy down the entire lane and he has no way out. Additionally, the Sylas will, in many cases in lower elo, be very unaware of the lane states and just try to shove the wave back. And by doing so, because he wants to shove the wave back because he doesn't want to miss like a tank creep or something and the creeps are even, he goes ahead and throws his Q, hits the creeps down, and we have a free push advantage, and all I would look to do is harass him. By looking to harass him, we would be good to go. Anyways, these are some of the key distinctions for the early game for Lucian. I believe this is all you're going to need for lower elo for the time being. I want to make these as easy to digest as possible. If anyone needs any questions at all answered, please feel free to come into the comments and interact with me. Please